So it's official. Myles Lewis-Skelly's red card has been successfully appealed by Arsenal. But more importantly, what does this mean for PGMOL? Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Isaac Dodson, and yeah, this is my first actual proper video. I will probably do an introduction to the channel and what I want to do going forward, but I thought I might as well just go straight in with a video talking about football. Obviously, you can tell I am an Arsenal fan, so obviously I thought it was pretty crucial to kind of start off with this piece of news. Obviously on the weekend we had the Myles Lewis-Skelly red card. We had all of the backlash from people in the media, like Alan Shearer, Michael Richards, Troy Deeney on Monday even came out saying it's the worst decision he's seen in football history. And now it's been rescinded. After PGMOL backed the decision, after they came out and didn't really critique it in any way, it was probably one of the quickest appeals I've ever seen. Arsenal appealed it, and in a few hours, I saw the Athletic article come up on my phone, bam, rescinded. And it's what we all expected, first of all. But there's a bigger problem at play here. I think, personally, this is one of the most embarrassing moments for PGMOL. It's truly embarrassing because appeals have always existed, really, like in terms of, oh God, we got a decision wrong. Okay, the club has the right to appeal it. Okay, now they're going to get the player either a less suspension or have their suspension completely removed, or players get retroactive suspensions from red cards that were missed. That is kind of a pre-VAR idea in the way, oh, we've missed something, but we can correct it. Sorry, we didn't give him the red card in the moment. And I think for the first few years of VAR, I don't know if there was, I can be corrected if possible, but I don't think there were really any appeals because VAR was being brought in and there was this kind of faith in the system of VAR. And now this season, we've had the Bruno Fernandes one at the start of the season for the red card against Tottenham, and now we've had Myles Lewis-Skelly. The fact that there are appeals for VAR decisions and they're winning, it just shows that PGMOL cannot be trusted with VAR. They simply can't. A lot of words have been shoved around all over online since the incident on the weekend, and I'm not for one second going to say that the refs are like corrupt and it's deliberate in any way, and I'm not going to say it's biased towards Arsenal because I think a lot of clubs have gotten really bad decisions. Wolves, for example. I'd argue if Wolves got every single decision, every 50-50 went their way, Gary O'Neill would arguably still be in a job. But the fact that we've had this appeal be successful and another one previously this season, it just shows that they can't be trusted to critique themselves. They can't reflect on their own decisions and their colleagues as well as they should do, and that is a massive problem. VAR, simply put, cannot fulfill its potential with PGMOL. And I've had this belief for some time, and this isn't because of my views on PGMOL, which are separate. This is simply because I kind of view it like checks and balances, like in terms of in politics and like government, in that there are different parts of government, different parts of like the order of power to have checks and balances on each other. But with VAR, that is your job. That is your job. Referee makes a mistake. That is all you're there for. You're not there to referee the moment. You're there to re-referee the moment which they got wrong, if it's clear and obvious error. And that is so clear and obvious. So clearly an obvious error. Yes, that's a yellow card. It's foul. It's a yellow card. And I don't think it's entirely Michael Oliver's fault. I think there's an issue with reputation and seniority of like refs that have more experience, have more in the bank as like kind of reputation goes, and there's a tendency to kind of trust what they say. But even then, if he makes a bad decision, he needs to be called up on it, and it doesn't happen. And you saw the opposite happen when he was VAR in Ten Hag's final game, which was the loss away at West Ham, and you had that stupid penalty for De Ligt on Danny Ings, which was never a penalty in a million years. David Coote, who that was I think one of his final games before he lost his job, but he didn't want to give the penalty, and Michael Oliver was on VAR and told him to go look at the replay. And I don't think if it's a different VAR person in VAR giving Coote the advice, I don't think he gives the penalty. The fact that they're more familiar with each other, the fact that they know who each other are, VAR should be separate. They shouldn't have any reputation in the bank. They should not be referees. They should simply be people putting checks onto the referees, making sure that they make the correct decisions. I've heard people suggest that VAR should have the input of former players. I don't think that's a bad decision, but at the same time, I'll give respect to the referees in that you need to be versed in the law, and the laws do change, and obviously that's important. So you can't. I wouldn't just like chuck like Martin Keown in VAR. I wouldn't just chuck Michael Owen or whoever into the VAR room if they want to do it. There still needs to be like a obviously training process, but I think it should be a different training process to referees. It should be. I don't think referees should just be a referee and then retire and become VAR. And I don't think they should be the same institution. I don't think PGMOL should have control over VAR. I think VAR should be independent of PGMOL. Really, that is how we can make refereeing better. In the last 2 years of PGMOL, specifically since Howard Webb took over, we've seen them more in the limelight. We've seen the whole Ref Watch show and all this stuff has come up in the last 2 years. And that has put the camera on them. That's put the spotlight on them. And the only outcome is not more credibility. They are losing credibility. And the only way to get rid of that is to have someone properly on VAR ensuring that every incorrect decision is checked. Because that's all we want. We want more correct decisions. But more than that, we want transparency. If PGMOL replied to this decision in the better way before the appeal, we'd be like, okay, yeah, it's okay. But the fact that a lot of people came out against the decision and PGMOL stood firm and now the appeal's gone, they just look so stupid and they look silly for it. And the trust in them to make the correct decisions is not there. PGMOL are not fit to have referees and VAR. A change is needed. And I really hope that this can potentially cause action and change, because VAR in its current form isn't needed. They make mistakes as referees. If those mistakes are going to be held, there's no point in VAR at the moment. It's just a time-wasting technique, which is ironic, because if you're an Arsenal player, you get sent off for that. If you have any comments or disagree with me in any way, please comment below. Happy to look and see what you've got to say. Like the video if you did enjoy it, and if you want to see more content from me on other things involving the Premier League or the wider football world, I'll probably focus on Arsenal a little bit when I can, but I'm going to try and talk about other things. Obviously, please subscribe if you want to see those videos. I've been Isaac Dodson, and PGMOL have been an absolute shambles. See you in the next one.